Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Rhapsody studio at Rhapsody Music here in Anthem, Arizona for another episode of our Rhapspired music series. We've been so excited to do these series and so excited that you've chosen to watch these and be along with us, so thank you so much for your support in that. And we're super excited today to have a young man with us, Mr. Ian Walker. Ian, thank you for being here today. Appreciate it. Ian has been selected as our October Rhapsody Music Student of the Month. We as directors and instructors here really talk about what we think is an important criteria for young musicians who we want to give this acknowledgement to. And Ian pretty much fits all the bills of what we want. He's been an excellent musician, really excels in all the music things he's done. He's taken musical opportunities outside of the normal track. From a Rhapsody perspective, he's been taking lessons with us for about 5 years now. He's participated in our Rhapsody Brass Ensemble. He's participated in our Wednesday Night Funk Horn Band for a number of times. He's currently a member at Boulder Creek High School in their program, All Inclusive. He's a member of the Phoenix Youth Symphony Orchestra. He's been, first in region last year as a junior as a trombone player. So really has excelled in so many different things that we're just thrilled to really thank him for his musical acknowledgement and to have him be part of the series we're doing here today. So the question we really ask everybody, Ian, when we talk about the history and the trajectory of music, all the way back at Gavilan Peak, sometime early in your days. Did you start at Gavilan?
I started at New River Elementary.
At New River, okay. And then what grade did you move over to Gavilan?
I moved over at 7th grade because New River
that's where
only goes to 6th.
And Gavilan is that next step for them.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it came time to decide if you were going to be in music or band and choir or art or whatever that option was, what drew you and what inspired you to get started playing music?
Well, both my parents are musicians, so I've always been on the edge of playing an instrument, but I never quite committed to anything. My dad plays the bagpipes professionally, and I almost played snare drum in the Mesa Caledonian Pipe Band. It's something I wanted to do for a long time.
Yeah.
I even got a practice pad and a book, and I just never went through with it. And my mom played flute, piccolo, and then bari sax. So I'm the only one of my siblings that picked up an instrument.
Yeah.
But it was coming.
Yeah.
I started halfway through 5th grade at New River Elementary, and it was actually because we had an assembly, and a couple people from the band at the assembly came out, and they said like, oh, we need more people in this section. But one of my close friends came out, and she was a twin. Her name was Ivy, and she was real small. And she said, I'm the only trombone player, and my arms are not long enough to play this instrument. We need help. And that's when I decided, being like 5'7" in 6th grade, that was the instrument for me.
I can do that. It's so funny. Everybody's starting story. I'm thrilled to hear all these stories because I can't tell you. I think Alec was like, he wanted to play one instrument. His parents said no, so he had to play the clarinet. Well, he's become a fantastic clarinetist. Sarah had a kind of a similar, and all these people had this, like yours it comes across like, hey, my friend needed help. I'm going to do the trombone. And yet it stuck so well, so quickly. You probably had some, getting out to 7th position at that age helped you play a lot of things that you couldn't do. So you started playing in normal band stuff. You went through the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th program. I know at Gavilan you had a chance, 8th grade you went over there. Probably had a little bit broader band experience just because of the size of the program, I'm guessing. Were you hooked at this point? Are you pretty much...
I was a little on edge through 5th and 6th grade, just because the band program just had a new band director there, and Mr. Stanford, love Mr. Stanford. It was just a little bit of a rocky path.
Yeah.
Moving into Gavilan Peak, I had Miss Stanford, and she was phenomenal. I love both of my Stanfords. And there, she helped me a lot. She helped me gain a lot of confidence for the instrument, and she recognized that I enjoyed playing out. So much so that she gave me bassoon music. It's either bassoon or oboe. I think it was bassoon. And I would be playing the melody with like the flutes and random bits of music as a trombone player.
Right.
And I thought that was so much fun.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, she really drew upon that. I remember when you and I first talked, you had such a natural gift for the music. I mean, that was pretty evident to me right away, right? So yeah, she gravitated to giving you all sorts of, hey, Ian, play this. Yeah, I can't hear this in the band. So then you got to high school. Then you had marching band and wind ensemble and all that stuff. And there's so many things that can occur in high school. And recently you guys went through a director change and all that stuff. But you still had a pretty good high school experience in what you did. So I'm interested really in the sense of where you decided to kind of turn into like really thinking of exceptionally minded music playing, because you have to change. When you get in high school, you got to think about how you're playing differently. Into the point where you decided to go for the regionals. You're gonna go to NAU and you're looking to becoming a performance major in music, right? Mm-hmm. Talk to me where that comes into play, because that's a big mental shift for a lot of kids in that high school age.
Well, 8th grade, middle school, the band director tours all the middle school and he talks. And when Mr. O'Halloran came into my middle school class, I was hooked. He had me like hook, line, sinker. I was ready to go into Boulder Creek Marching Band.
Right away, good.
It was like the first class I signed up for. So excited to do it, and I would do anything to like excel in that program. And freshman year, halfway through the year, there was an opening in the wind ensemble.
That's right, I remember that.
I auditioned my freshman year for the varsity level band program, which is something that usually people don't make until they're at least a junior, like sometimes sophomore.
Right.
But I auditioned and I made it over a couple other trombone players my freshman year.
Yep.
I made it into the wind ensemble second semester, and then of course school shut down halfway through the second semester.
Right.
The freshman year.
I remember we were showing up over at the Enclave to do one of our holiday caroling groups, and you came that night and you told me, you're like, I got in. Yeah. You were super excited, super stoked about that.
And I worked on that audition for so long, and I put so much energy into it that I didn't end up auditioning for regionals freshman year, which I wanted to do, but it was I couldn't have done 2 auditions at the same time.
Yeah. Well, again, freshman. Yeah. Right. This wasn't somebody that the whole high school experience is enough of a change from 8th grade for a freshman to do all that stuff is pretty cool. And then COVID hit. I know COVID was a huge thing, and we did all that virtual stuff here. You guys were figuring out how to have a band program at all. Your junior year is when you guys really came back out of that, right? So that was when you made the regionals, first trombone in the region. He didn't just make the regionals, he was first trombone in the region. Let's make that very pointed and clear. Deciding to go on to college. When does that happen? Well, when does that thought come into play?
Thought came into play probably sometime over sophomore, junior year. But freshman year, when I got into the wind ensemble, some of the pieces that we played, and at that point, a lot of the players in the wind ensemble were, first in the region, second, third in the state. All of them were taking lessons. It was a super involved program at that point in time. And I remember we played Pageant by Vincent Persichetti, and that was such a fun piece for me. And everyone got tired of it within a couple weeks, and I just loved the music. And we went out of school, and it was a struggle, but I knew I wasn't going to leave the program at that point in time. So kept with it. I think junior year when we came back, that was really like peak of high school band for me.
Yeah.
some of the pieces that we played, I fell in love with. We played pieces like Fuman, which is a Japanese piece. Polka and Fugue was by far my favorite. And I know a lot of people in the band either love or hate that piece from how much we played it and how, like, afterwards people just play the piece over and over again.
Right.
So I fell in love with the music, and I love the trombone. It started off as more or less of a joke, but through other directors and playing music, it really became my instrument. And I had a certain director, Mr. Michael Warner.
Yeah.
I was in the jazz band my freshman year. I joined because I was in the jazz band for 7th and 8th grade at Gatlin Peak. And he gave me such an appreciation for the instrument because he let me play bass trombone in the jazz band my freshman year. And he constantly, he reminds me of the good old days when I played bass bone freshman year, because he said all the directors were asking, like, oh man, who's that bass bone player? Because I had a really good low range, and I was not afraid to honk it out.
No, true fact on that. That's one thing about you. You have never been shy about playing, right? And again, you were such kind of an instinctive musician as a young player. I know you and I talked for a while. At times that was a hindrance because you didn't have to work so hard on some things, and then you had to come back and go, oh shoot, I better work on this sort of thing. But such a natural gift for the music. And I think when we look at what you've done, when you talk about being able to audition and win ensemble your freshman year, when you get to do the regionals and you get first round, when you get accepted to the Phoenix Youth Symphony, when you play the bass bone, here's the other thing about you that I've learned over the years is you don't accept much less for yourself than the best you can do. Yeah. And sometimes you're able to skate by at certain things, but I've seen more of it over the years where you identify what you need to do and you get it done. Period. I got to get this done now, got to get it done. And that's a great trait, which again, as musicians, people don't understand a lot of times.
Yeah.
I mean, how many pockets of music are you playing this year? Phoenix Youth Symphony, Prep and Marching Band, Jazz Band, getting to the Wind Ensemble, you're doing the brass thing at Rhapsody. That's a lot of literature and music that you've got to make sure you're excelling at. And you've always done such an excellent job. So excited for the future for you up at NAU. I think that's going to be a phenomenal thing. When you talk about being a performance major, think longer than that. What do you want to do with that?
Well, I auditioned for the Phoenix Youth Symphony because I know orchestra music and being in a group like that is really what I've always wanted. Because the wind ensemble is fun. I love the music, but I feel like mixing it with strings and creating that full orchestra is that's exactly what I want to do.
Yeah.
So long term, I would love to be wherever I go. Obviously, if I stay in Phoenix, the Phoenix Symphony is on that golden pedestal.
Yeah.
But the performance major, I think it would just be so cool to have a degree in an instrument. And I think that is so neat. So that is really what has driven me to major in that. It's what's driven me to audition for that program.
Right. Well, we talk here about trying to inspire musically, and sometimes it's us inspiring, but sometimes it's the music that is also an inspiration to all of us, right? I know you've experienced that over the years. Music to you has become, it is that thing. There is that importance to music and what you do. And it's interesting, because you have a whole other sideline. What you and your dad do basically metalwork, right?
I work in a fabrication shop.
Right? And I joke. I think the cerebral element, how that process works, fits real well with your music. I mean, there's something about it that actually it all works together. Another question: how many trombones do you own?
I just recently acquired a new one, so that would make 11.
Ian owns 11 trombones, people. We joke about guitar players having the gear acquisition syndrome. He's got 11 trombones, but I love it because he's found a couple of old trombone gems, had them refinished and worked out, and ended up being really cool trombones. But it just, again, it speaks to that encompassing inspiration for this whole thing. I mean, that's been so cool. If you would leave a note for other folks in your age group that are watching this video, as an older, wiser young man now, what would you tell them?
I would say that I have been very lucky in the circumstances that I've been given for music. And I've had a lot of people that help me along the way. But I also would say that you don't necessarily need to have this step up to get involved with music and to start and to excel at it. I would say you really just need the passion to want to play an instrument. So I would say if you have that and you have an instrument, obviously, and you're able to really like put that effort forward, that you can really excel on whatever you want to do.
Yeah. It's about choice, isn't it? A little bit about the decision to make. Well, cool. Hey, and again, thank you so much for being with us today. Congratulations on all your musical accomplishments. You know, we are going to be watching and following you in this next couple of years up in NEU. That'll be great. Again, we want to congratulate Ian Walker, Rhapsody's October Music Student of the Month. Has done amazing stuff where we only expect the best from him as we go forward. We again thank you guys for being part of our journey here as well. Remember, if you'd like to reach out to us for anything musical or informational, you can get a hold of us at 623-465-7060. Our email here is lessons@rhapsodyschoolofmusic.com. Our website is Rhapsody Music AZ. As a matter of fact, Rhapsody Music AZ is our handle across all of our platforms now. So find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, soon to be on TikTok. That'll be fun. Check out these videos, get some inspiration. If you have any content you'd love to see, let us know. If you'd like to come and get involved on the same path of music and inspiration as some of the rest of us, come join us. You guys have a wonderful and great day, and we will see you on the flip side.